This one mindset shift separates people who build wealth from people who just survive. So let me say something that might sound a little wild at first. The entire foundation of finance is borrowing. And if you're someone who only use your own money, living in the model, say, I spend what I earn, honestly, you're going to have a really hard time ever achieving the true financial freedom. I know the debts has a lot of bad reputations, especially in a lot of immigrant. The idea of owning money just feels wrong. Like it's something to be ashamed of. But hear me out, because this mindset might be just costing you more than you think. So here's the thing. The wealthiest clients I've worked with over the years, they're not debt-free. They're actually some of the most leveraged people I've ever met, okay? So multiple properties, bought on mortgages, and HELOCs wide open, hundreds of thousands in borrowing debts. And at the same time, their investment portfolios keeps compounding and make them a steady cash flow. So can you say they are poor because they have a lot of debt? No. They just understand something that most people don't. So poor people use their own money, but the wealthy people use other people's money. And in Canada, there's actually a tax law that makes this even sweeter, okay? If you borrow money and use it to generate income, the investment on the loan is tax deductible. So you're paying maybe a few $1,000s in interest, but that amount comes off your taxable income. Depending on your tax bracket, you could be saving more in tax than you're ever paying in the interest. That's not a trick. That's literally how the system is designed. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying go out and borrow money to gamble or buy stuff you don't need, okay? So that's just digging a hole for yourself. What I'm talking about is a strategic leverage, that borrowing with a clear plan, a clear return, and a clear risk tolerance. The most painful thing that I see is people who spend 20 years slowly, carefully saving up their own $100,000 and then finally start investing. But meanwhile, someone who understood leverage used $200,000 of their own money, borrow the rest, and has been compounding for 15 years. The gap at that point is enormous. So time is the most expensive thing in investing. And leverage is how you put time to work for you earlier. So if you're the type of person who only use your own money and you're waiting until everything's ready, I want you to think about what that's actually costing you in the long run. If you're not sure what kind of leverage makes sense for your situation or how to structure it in a way that is tax efficient and actually works, link in bio for free consultation. Let's figure it out together.